Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, we are live and in living color. Okay. And let us begin. Beautiful. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Great to have everyone here. Indeed, how good and how sweet it is to be together on this day as we celebrate the joy and beauty of Shabbat and welcome our new Cantor, Cantor Katie Oringel. It is such a pleasure to see so many of you with us today as we mark this sacred moment in the life of the synagogue. As we begin our service, I want to draw your attention to the chat function in Zoom, which I'll encourage you to use at various points in the service. For instance, as we get started, we can take a moment to wish each other a Shabbat Shalom right in our chat window. This way, even muted, we can participate in the service. I also encourage you to sing along during our service. We might not be able to hear you, but it is so wonderful to see you engaged in prayer. And if you are like me and don't have the best singing voice, you don't have to worry about anyone hearing you. I'd also like to mention at the end of the service, we will have a moment to greet the Cantor as we use the breakout room function in Zoom, which creates smaller groups from our larger virtual convocation. We will have time to catch up with our friends as the Cantor visits each room for a moment to say Shabbat Shalom. So now we are going to continue with our service. I'm going to put up our service on the screen and we will have the opportunity to worship together. And so we're just going to pull that up. And we're going to begin with Lechu Naranana. We now continue with our Shabbat candle lighting. It's my pleasure to ask to kindle our Sabbath lights, Denise Kirschbaum, the co-chair of our Cantorial Search Committee. You're still muted, Denise.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you who commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And now I'll ask George Rodnitsky, the co-chair of the Cantorial Search Committee, to lead us in Kiddush.
The seventh day is consecrated to the eternal our God. With wine, our symbol of joy, we celebrate this day and its holiness. We give thanks for all our blessings, for life and health, for work and rest, for home and love and friendship. On Shabbat, eternal sign of creation, we remember that we're created in the divine image. We therefore raise the cup in thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Without a doubt, the Chadodi is one of our most beloved prayers of the Kabbalat Shabbat service. This beautiful liturgical poem imagines the Sabbath as a bride, and we, the people of Israel, as the groom, eagerly awaiting her arrival. Traditionally, when we arrive at the last verse, the congregation rises and faces the door of the sanctuary to greet the Kala, the Shabbat bride. Alas, we are not in our sanctuary tonight. Due to our current reality, we are worshiping together, but from our homes, as we have for the past few months. And as much as we yearn for the day to arrive when we can all return to our cherished sacred space and pray in the sanctuary, that time is not yet upon us. As disappointed as we all are that we cannot be together in person, we steadfastly maintain our commitment to pikuach nefesh, to the protection and preservation of life. The health and well-being of our congregation is our primary concern as we continue to spiritually connect as we remain physically distant. But in this moment, as we are about to welcome the Sabbath bride, I wonder what we can do to transform our homes into a temporary sanctuary. We recall the Israelites carried their portable sanctuary with them through the wilderness. Now, as we wander through our own uncertain and challenging time, maybe there is an opportunity to create a sacred space of our own. Now, I'm not suggesting you build an altar or purchase a giant menorah to adorn your living room, but perhaps we can find little ways to make our home feel more like a sanctuary. A couple of ideas. When we come together for worship, find a dedicated place in your home, free of clutter and distraction, a place where you are comfortable, and make it your sacred space. Bring out your Shabbat candlesticks, your Kiddush cups, your challah trays. Friday afternoon, bring home some flowers or prepare a special dinner, a couple sweet treats for an oneg. Maybe even wear what you would wear on a Friday night service, if that will help you get into the Sabbath mindset. I'm sure you can think of other ways to beautify, or better still, consecrate a space in your home which will serve as your mikdash me'at, your small sanctuary. For so long we have thought of our synagogue as our home away from home, but now our home must be our shul away from shul. So in that spirit, let us welcome the Sabbath bride to our personal sanctuaries, our homes, as we join together with Lecha Dodi. And as we reach the last verse, please feel free to rise and face the door of your home to symbolically greet Shabbat, welcoming Shabbat into our homes and into our hearts. We continue with Lecha Dodi.
Yalla la 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 lecha dodi. Yalla la 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 likrat kala. Yalla la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekamen. Yalla la 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 lecha dodi. Yalla la 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 likrat kala. Yalla la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekamen. Shamor v'zachor b'ribor echad. Yishmiranu el hamiyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. U'shemo tiferet ve'litila. Yalai lai, yala la la lai lecha dodi. Yala la la lai likrat kala. Yala la la lai penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekamen. Likrat Shabbat lechoved elcha. Ki mekor haberelcha. Merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'mashkavat tehila. Yalla la 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 lecha dodi. Yalla la 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 likrat kala. Yalla la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekamen. עטרת בלק, גם בשמחה ובסולה.
There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Nivarech, let us bless.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Le'olam Va'ed. Yalanai lai lai, 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 yalanai lai lai. Into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei Yom Halayla, Golel Or Mipnei Choshech, Golel Or Mipnei Choshech, Vechoshech Mipnei Or. I wish I could turn my camera around to see. I have a view of this sunset that we're really singing about here, this roll into dark, roll into light. It's quite beautiful. I hope if you look outside, you can see that change of color. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם emet. So this is going to be your first opportunity to respond in the chat. So get your typing fingers ready. Being a cantor, Mi Chamocha is a really special prayer because if we think about this moment when we're talking about the story that it comes from, our people are slaves, they break free from Egypt, there's a whole Passover saga, we'll get to that later in the year. And once they cross through this miraculously parted sea, everyone starts to sing. So my question to you is, there's a lot of possible miracle moments that happen within that narrative. And I'd love to see a couple of ideas of what's the highlight miracle moment for all of you. I'll sing a little nigun while you're thinking and typing. Ya bye bye bim bidi bye, ya ba ba bim bam, ya bye bye bim bidi bye, ya ba ba bim bam, ay da 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 da, ya ba ba bim bam, ay da da, ya ba ba bim bam. I like the answers of him singing. Thank you for putting yourself out there. Ya bye bye bim bidi bye. Thank you for these brave answers. So what are some of these miracle moments? Crossing in safety. I think anytime we find ourselves in a state of safeness, that's a miracle. It's rather miraculous in this world that we can look at ourselves and hopefully be able to claim ourselves healthy. And for those with whom can't do that, we have the opportunity as a community later in the service to bring strength to those people. My children, my grandchildren, right? Because we all pass through that sea, this miracle that your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, it says that it was as if we all crossed through that sea. That is a miracle. Yes, all these generations. Oh, there's a lot of answers. This is wonderful. Crossing in safety, setting foot on land as a free people. This idea, it's rather miraculous, this notion of freedom, really owning that as a miracle moment when you step back and think about who in this world doesn't have that freedom, to celebrate it and to continue to use that miracle as the driving force behind helping other people to find their freedom. So there's a moment, and it's that very last moment. The Jewish people cross through the Red Sea, they get to the other side, and it says they burst into song. It was as if they had already received the pre-recorded YouTube video on the song they were gonna sing when they got to the other side. They prepared with their iPods, you know, while they were crossing. I'm sure they were humming to themselves. Anyone who's prepared for bar bat mitzvah or chanting Torah, you know this repetitive nature that comes with learning something, that you could be able to, when you reach this miracle moment, just break into song. But that's not what happened. We know that. The miracle was that everyone just started singing.
Okay, so what
And
was the
that
big
is-
question?
So whomever's can we mute everyone?
Oh, okay.
Somebody came unmuted. We're happy you're here.
I hope you're not running around with Peyton.
There you are.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if it were like we were crossing through the sea and all of a sudden we could hear each other? That would be a Zoom miracle. But sadly, it's not what we can do. So I need for us to choose to be in that space of miracle moment when we all start singing together. And I hope that as our time together grows, that we will be able to hear one another's voices. Because for me, as a cantor, my greatest sadness is that I can see your mouths moving, but I can't hear your beautiful prayers. Because truly it is when our voices are raised in song together, when our prayers are fully experienced. So if I miss hearing your voices, I miss the opportunity of harmonizing with people in prayer even more. So I created something with a classmate of mine. We graduated from Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion in 2009. And she is a cantor in New Jersey. Her name is Cantor Rebecca Moses. And I wanted to bring a blessing of shalom, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, that this beautiful imaginary shelter of peace could come upon us, and that I could also experience a little bit of harmony with you. So we're all going to be praying through watching and listening, and let there be love. Let there be love between us, amongst us, and showered upon us.
Shelter from life's storms. Let
share one other note is that her congregation is also praying with that video as well tonight. So we get to be connected with them in New Jersey. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat la'asot et haShabbat לדורתם בברית עולם. v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat la'asot et haShabbat לדורתם בברית עולם. ויהיו בין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Our fathers and mothers prayed, each through their own experience of God, each through their own visions, which we have come to share. Abraham, with the fervor of justice, pleaded for causes of cities. Sarah, in the pain of waiting, dared to hope for new life. Isaac, meditating alone in a field, lifted his eyes to find love. Rebecca asked for the ability to discern God's call. Jacob climbed the rungs of his night into heaven, seeking destiny. Leah dreamed of love, and Rachel sought harmony. We, as they, seek God's presence. We continue with the Amidah HaTefillah. Please rise, either in body or in spirit.
Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei avotenu bimotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol Hagibor Bahanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Bezocher Chaste Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon, Lecho hashalom, ki ata hu melech adon, Lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, b'chol עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
As I was perusing the Facebook page of the Central Conference of American Rabbis, I came across a post which caught my eye. A colleague of mine posted a copy of a 4th of July Shabbat service, a ceremony which blended our traditional prayers with readings and songs celebrating the United States of America. But the reason this service caught my eye was because of the rabbi who created it. Our rabbi, Rabbi Daniel Treiser of blessed memory. Also part of compiling this beautiful resource, Cantor Jennifer Duretz-Peled and Danielle Rodnitsky, now Cantor Rodnitsky. So as tonight we celebrate our future, how fitting it is to take a moment to honor those who came before us, all their work on behalf of Temple B'nai Israel. We think back on how much they meant to us individually and as a congregation, how their words lifted us, inspired us, moved us, comforted us, how through their actions, they demonstrated to us what it meant to live a meaningful, passionate, engaged Jewish life. The Cantor and I are so proud to be part of this chain of tradition. So in a nod to our past, I will now read a passage from Temple B'nai Israel's 4th of July service, the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. proclaimed on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all of God's children. And we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. This is our hope. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when this happens, when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village, every hamlet, from every state and every city, and everyone needs to mute. From every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black and white, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. We now continue with a moment of silent prayer and reflection.
Adonai tsuri v'goali. Oh, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you. O God, my rock and my redeemer. Oh, say shalom bimromav. Huya say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imeru, ve'imeru. We say Amen.
We now continue in our service with the Misha Berach prayer. We think of our loved ones who are ill and in need of healing as we join together now with Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We think of those who are in need of healing. We think now of Louis Abelach, Evan Bin, Fran Brickman, Joe Brickman, Mark Edelstein, Brian Edelstein, Mark Enfinger, Danielle Heyman Feist, Linda Fine, Eric Fisk, Buddy Green, Vicky Hano, Joan Keller, Fran Kipling, Lori Cattleman, Hank Corin, Wendy Sugarman Krasnoff, Elsa Mikosh, Miriam Merens, Benny Pandorf, Carol Zudi, Fred Piniski, Janet Pulfrey, Jane Rifkin, Jess Rifkin, Ted Ross, Mindy Siegel, Cal Simon, Dr. Cindy Steinman, Pete Tanner, Rhonda Weinberg, Janet White, and Leah Slavinsky. We take all the names into our hearts with all of those we've mentioned in our chat box. As together we say, wish them refuah shlema, and we say Amen.
And let us say, Amen.
Usually, on one Shabbat a month, we celebrate our simchas, our birthdays, anniversaries. COVID sort of threw us off for a little bit, and we haven't done this as much as we should. And so today is sort of a catch-up day for our birthdays and anniversaries. So if you're celebrating a birthday, I think really since March, I think actually our last one was in March, but April, May, June, and July, 4 months worth of birthdays and anniversaries. You can please enter your name in the chat box and mention your simcha, mention that you are celebrating a birthday or anniversary, and we're going to now have a special blessing for you. So first, our birthdays. God of our days and years, author of life, our times are in your hand. We thank you for the blessing of life and for all that enriches our lives. We gather today in special thankfulness to share in the happiness of our friends celebrating a birthday this month, or the past 3 other ones. Be with them always as the joy of their life. May they be blessed with health and happiness and with the strength to overcome sickness and sorrow. May we have the joy of coming together for many more years, united by mutual reverence and love. Then will our lives be filled with an abundance of blessing. And so we wish everyone a happy birthday as we say,
Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach.
very nice. Yeah, we have a big group here of birthdays. Very nice. Anniversaries. And it's now a special blessing for those celebrating this sacred moment. We have come together to rejoice in the love and commitment of our friends, standing here beneath this chuppah, and ask God's blessing upon them. Years ago, they consecrated their love for each other, and since that day, they have shared their lives with each other, guiding, supporting, and nurturing one another. And now at this sacred moment, we humbly ask that God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless these loving companions with gratitude for all of the blessings their years together have bestowed upon them. May their marriage covenant continue to be strengthened by love, patience, and mutual respect. May they continue to enjoy God's blessings in their years to come, so that they may always live in joy and gladness, in peace and companionship. And let us say, Amen.
Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov siman tov yehelanu u'lechol Yisrael yehelanu u'lechol Yisrael Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael.
Very nice. Mazel tov, everybody. I'm looking at all these simchas. It's so overwhelming of all these wonderful birthdays, anniversaries, all these great things that are happening in our lives, even during this tricky time. So it's really wonderful to see all of the great things going on. It's now my pleasure to call to come forward, so to speak, to invite to say a few words, Jessie Engelhardt. Jessie was a member of our search committee for the Cantor, and she's now going to share a few words. So Jessie, you can unmute and you're good to go.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. The Cantorial Search Committee came together at the beginning of this process with high hopes and whispered excitement, but nerves. We committed to each other that we wouldn't settle and acknowledge that this process may take time, may take a few rounds of the process, and may be discouraging since we had no idea what to expect or what our options would be. But we would stay the course. We had a responsibility to our community, to our synagogue, and to our families to find someone inspiring and loving and welcoming. Fast forward to our committee sitting in our sanctuary with Cantor Oringel on the bima. She'd sat quietly in the pews up until we asked her to approach the podium, and I thought, I hope this goes well. I hope she isn't too shy. We're kind of a loud bunch. That thought disappeared as soon as Cantor opened her mouth. Without saying it, every word she spoke told us that she belonged on our bima. From her beautiful singing that filled our walls to her sermon and interactions with us in the pews. She engaged us through her music and her words. She challenged us to connect ourselves to what she was trying to teach us, and she brought out memories and happy tears as we answered her questions. We all knew at the end of our first visit with Cantor that we were the home for her, and we hoped she felt the same way. The whispered excitement from our very first search committee meeting was back, and this time it was loud as we recounted together her thoughtful and passionate responses to our questions, her love for camp and our youth, and her voice, as you've heard tonight. Oh, her voice. We could not be more excited to have Cantor Oringel join our community and meet our fellow synagogue families. We believe it won't take long for you to see in her what we did, for you to feel her passion for our culture and our heritage, for your families to experience her joy in teaching the way she will connect to our youth, for you to feel her love for Israel and share in the memories of her travels. Cantor, we're clearly excited and overjoyed to welcome you, our family, officially, albeit a bit unconventionally. Thank you for choosing us as your new home. We're so glad you're here.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you so much, Jessie, for all your beautiful words. As tonight marks a new beginning for Temple B'nai Israel, it also marks the culmination of the fantastic work of the Cantorial Search Committee. Skillfully and thoughtfully led by Denise Kirschbaum and George Rodnitsky, the members of the search committee worked diligently in their quest to find our next Cantor, someone who would form meaningful relationships with our congregants across the demographic spectrum, someone who would teach and inspire us, not only through the beauty of their voice, but by the dedication and commitment, by their dedication to the highest commitments and ideals of our faith. Someone who would be a source of creativity and innovation with fresh ideas and perspectives. The committee quickly coalesced around this shared goal and never strayed from their mission. I'm excited to say that by entering into a sacred partnership with Cantor Oringel, I believe the search committee has succeeded beyond their own lofty expectations. We thank them for their tremendous work, for all of their efforts on behalf of the congregation. And I know that they, along with members of our transition committee headed up by Ray Sepko, and our Temple Board of Directors all look forward to helping with the next steps as we welcome Cantor Oringel to our synagogue family. Transitions are a part of life, but they are not always easy. For proof of this, we need not look any further than this week's Torah portion. In our parsha, actually a double portion, Chukat Balak, the Israelites find themselves in the midst of their own leadership transition. Since the days of the Exodus from Egypt to the revelation of Torah at Mount Sinai, Through the struggles and strivings in the wilderness, the Israelites always turned to Moses, to Aaron, and Miriam for their leadership. But now things are changing. In this parsha, both Miriam and Aaron pass away, and as a result, the Israelite community is thrown into disarray. After the death of Miriam, our grieving, heartbroken Israelites, they turn against Moses, confronting him about the lack of water in the wilderness. Our rabbinic tradition teaches us that these two events are connected by more than raw emotion. For we are taught that wherever Miriam went, a well of water followed her, which would nourish and give life to the people. So now that she was gone, the people were thirsty. Thirsty for water, but also bereft of one of the most inspirational leaders. In their anger and in their despair, they cry out, "Why did you make us leave Egypt to bring us to this wretched place, a place with no grain, no figs, no vines, no pomegranates, no grouper sandwiches or margaritas. There's not even any water to drink." It's a slight edit. Moses, seeking respite from the mob, approaches God for guidance. God commands Moses to speak to the rock, commanding it to yield forth its water. But instead, Moses, perhaps out of impatience, perhaps due to his own frayed emotions out of the death of his sister, first scolds the Israelites. "Listen, you rebels, shall we get water for you out of this rock?" Then Moses hits the rock with his staff twice, not merely speaking to it as he was instructed. It is in this moment when God tells Moses that because of his lack of faith, because of his outburst, he will not enter the promised land. So just like that, the Israelites are thrust into a moment of transition. They need to find new and capable leadership, which they discover in individuals like Joshua, Caleb, and Aaron's son Eleazar. But I believe the Israelites also realize in this portion that they can find another source of leadership, another dwelling place of strength, inspiration, and wisdom. Where may it be located? Where may it be found? Within themselves, in their own hearts. For as we read in this Torah portion, the Israelites once again find themselves without water. Once again, they are thirsty and need relief. But now there is no Miriam and a magic well. There is no Aaron to guide them, and they know Moses won't be with them forever. So what would they do when they find themselves in need? The text tells us, Az Yashir Yisrael et Hashirah Hazot. The people of Israel sang this song. Spring up, O well, sing to it. In this moment, the Israelites didn't look to others for guidance. They found what they needed within themselves. The Israelites raised their own voices and were renewed. Moses, Miriam, and Aaron helped them find their voice to sing their own song. The Torah portion comes to teach us an important lesson as we welcome our new Cantor. True leadership inspires others to become leaders themselves. It is about giving them the tools, the courage, the desire, the insight to achieve goals they may have thought were only impossible. To me, that is the great legacy of Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. Through their leadership, they helped the Israelites find within themselves everything they needed to succeed, to thrive as a people. And since that time, our people, when facing seemingly impossible odds, when beset by relentless challenges, have not only survived, but thrived, in no small part due to the qualities instilled within us by those dedicated to the task of leadership. As Rabbi Akiva once remarked, the congregation of Israel is a bird, and its leaders are its wings. When strong, we can ascend to the highest of heights. So Cantor, as we welcome you as a leader of our community, we look forward to you spreading your wings and helping us soar. We know that, like Miriam, you bring a wellspring of gifts and talents, with which you will nourish us, inspire us, and comfort us. Like Moses and Aaron, you will share your knowledge, your faith, your strength to guide us on our journey, both as we navigate the current wilderness of COVID and the myriad of long-awaited opportunities which await once we reach the other side. And we know that through your leadership, you will encourage all of us to sing our own song. Mazel tov to you, and may we together go from strength to strength. I now pronounce upon you these ancient words of blessing. Yivrecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and keep you.
Can you hear what song?
Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, may God's light shine upon you, may God always be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, may God grant you the greatest of blessings, peace and fulfillment in life, as together we say, Amen. And now we're going to join together with Shehechianu.
We have reached quite a moment. I'm overwhelmed by what I've experienced in these first few days. And I just noticed that there are 107 participants on this Zoom. I can't even begin to express how joyful I am at this sacred and holy moment. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehecheyanu v'kiyemanu v'hegiyanu lazman hazeh 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 Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Give it a try. Lie, lie, la 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 lie. La 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 lie, lie, la la lie. La 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 lie, lie, la 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 lie. La 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 lie, lie, la la lie. Ya la la lie, lie, la la lie, lie. La 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 lie, lie, la la lie. Ya la la lie, lie, ya la la lie, lie. Ya la la lie, lie, ya lie, lie, lie. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tekedu la'liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kuguyei haratzot, velo samanu kamishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kecho hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, our friends, our neighbors we have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. We recall the loved ones whom death recently taken from us. We are observing the Shiva period for the memory of Jacob Jack Moshbitz, husband of Kelly and father of Alan and Michelle, and grandfather of Enoch, David, and Lee. We also recall the memory of Jerry Bender, a loved one of our member Leah Slavensky. And I ask that if you have names you'd like to add, that you're remembering for their yurt site to say Kaddish for, you can please enter their name in the chat box as I read our Kaddish list this week. We think of those who died in this past year: Robert San, Lee Benjamin, Jim Shapiro, Mildred Cohn, Sal Spinicia, Vita Felmis, Jay North, Gwen Hirschfeld, Maxine Roth, Howard Rubin, Sheldon Ginsberg, Larry Krug, and Gene Weissman. And today marks the yurt site. We are honoring the yurt site this week of Avel S. Abrams, Samuel L. Adler, Ethel D. Bergman, Jean Borden, Gilbert Budd, Jack Leon Cantor, Fanny Francis Chazan, Morris Mike Cohen, Lenore Denenberg, Cecile Esrig, George Fishman, Rachel Friedman, Julius Gassenheimer, Marcia Gold, Goldie Goldstein, Elena Gomery, Sylvan Harfinist, Michael Jacobs, Dr. Mattis N. Katz, Shirley Kleinman, Florence Kleinman, Evelyn Kogan, Simon Kornbilt, Estelle G. Coronis, William Krug, Jack Bernard Leibowitz, Jack M. Levin, Sidney M. Levine, Mayor Margolis, James Arden McMullen, Bunny Merrill, Esther Meyerberg, Minnie Miller, Rose Namath, Mary Bagalini Pizzuti, Anthony Angelo Pizzuti, Sonia Dolan Rothschild, Irving Isaac Salzman, Abraham Sefakar, Marjorie Seiler, Albert Schaefer, Jean Shalit, Max Simon, Sonia Waldman, Ratty K. Wallach, Leonard O. Warsh, and Leonard M. Yeager. We take them all into our hearts with those mentioned in our chat box, and together we join with Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadas Shmei Rabbah, be'alma divrei cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, b'gala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei dekudisha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'yama v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shumaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, as together we say, amen. Now I'd like to invite our temple president, Nina Warshawski, to say a few words of announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. After that service, I'm not sure I can bark out my announcements today. It's been a long time in the making, and it's so nice to finally see the culmination of all the hard work that everyone's done to get to this point. But things do continue. I know on July 18th, WTBI is having a beauty seminar, so you can zoom into that. I believe Barbara Bloom. Oh, Barbara's laughing. I'm not sure why. She's cracking up on my screen here, so we'll have to find out what that's all about. So she'll be leading that with WTBI. No one writes my announcements for me, so I'm making this up on my own. But most important, while I have everybody here, on August 8th, which is a Saturday night, we're going to be having a virtual fundraiser. It's replacing the fundraising portion of casino night because we don't feel that we're going to be able to have our typical casino night come November when it's scheduled. So this is going to be a lot of fun. What it is it's called TBI Has Talent. So we're going to basically have a talent show. So if you have a talent that you want to share with us, make a video with your camera held horizontally and send it in to Angela or to me, and we'll put it into the competition. There's going to be a lot of different opportunities. There's going to be the ability to have Brotherhood cook and deliver a meal to you that night. There's going to be a live and a silent auction. It's going to be just like a casino night, but instead of casino gambling, we're going to have a talent show. So everybody, please mark your calendar because again, it is one of our fundraisers that we need to continue to support Temple B'nai Israel. We're looking for sponsorships. We're looking for talent. We're looking for silent auction items. If you have any of that, please call the office, let us know. And we're going to put it all together in the next 4 or 5 weeks. Aside from that, I just thank you all for zooming into this today. Like Cantor said, we had at the max, we had 115 people zoom in and we had 10 people watching on YouTube. So it's our community together that's going to bring us forward and get us to the other side of this pandemic. So thank you, Shabbat Shalom, and welcome Cantor Oringel.
Thank you, Nina, for those words. I really appreciate it. And I just want to say, I echo, what Nina had mentioned. It's really wonderful. It's really fantastic that we broke our Zoom record, which is awesome. And it really just shows how much passion, how much energy there is for this moment, which is really great to see. And also the hundreds and hundreds, it looks like, of comments and of chatting. Again, that excitement and enthusiasm is wonderful. Actually, I'll note that my kids commandeered the chat box for my wife's Zoom. And so please, anything that she wrote in there, you can disregard if it feels like it probably wasn't from her. But my kids sort of were enjoying themselves a little bit on the chat, as they are wont to do. But again, it's just fantastic to see the energy and enthusiasm. Welcome, Cantor. I look forward to a long, meaningful, fruitful partnership. And so with that, I'm going to do one more quick reminder, actually, and I want to mention, please remember that after the service concludes, we're going to test out our breakout room function. We haven't done that yet in this setting. And so what we're going to do is we're going to divide everyone up sort of randomly into smaller groups. You can unmute yourselves there and you can chat a little bit amongst yourselves. We're thinking about maybe sharing one good thought, one good wish that we have, this week. You can talk amongst yourselves. It'll be lovely. Your favorite oneg dessert. My favorite debate, the rainbow cookie versus the black and white. Which one shall prevail? So you can figure that amongst yourselves in your breakout rooms. And with that, we will conclude with a little motzi and then a nigun.
There it is. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Everyone pull a piece off. Oh, wait. No, we wouldn't do that now anyway. It's delicious.
That's the one you made?
No, that is what Margaret Morgan made. Thank you very much. Except that I have to chew before I start singing again. Hold on.
You were beating the heck out of that dough in your video.
Great. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la la, ya la 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 la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Shabbat shalom. Stick around if you'd like. I'd love to see your faces and have a quick hello.
Okay, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.